Hello, everybody. There we go. Hi, I'm Jeff Saksagawa with Sift. Sift is a digital trust and safety company here to help the digital travel economy, stop fraud, and enable growth. How are we doing that? What we're excited to talk to you about today here at launch is the idea of dynamic friction. Now, a lot of time, friction is a four-letter word, right? Don't say it. You don't want to talk about it. However, dynamic friction, and what I want you to consider, is an opposite experience. It's the thoughtful application of friction based on behavioral and situational events on your websites and apps, again, in the pursuit of stopping fraud and enabling growth. How does Sift do this? Machine learning is an underlying technology for Sift. We have over 16,000 plus signals at our disposal. So once a traveler interacts with their website or app, we're assessing the trustworthiness of particular events like device, behavior, updates, etc. The output of this assessment is the Sift score. It's a 0 to 100 range score, 0 being low risk, 100 being high risk. And all we'd ask you to do is consume that score and then tailor experiences around it. But let's walk through an example. So here we have a user journey. We kind of have our cool Instagram-y lady, nice shades, jealous of those. And she starts interacting with your website. So they're logging in, they're applying a promo code. Things are looking OK, right? So we're going to actually enable early check-in for this traveler. They continue to browse. Again, Sift is continually assessing these events. Everything's looking good. Here's where this traveler breaks bad. Again, based on Sift's assessment and understanding these events, we have a change in email address. Not only that, it's compounded by the idea of we're also booking some high-priced inventory at the same time. So you're left with a choice. Ultimately, you can block this transaction, you can verify it, or you can allow it. Now, for this example specifically, I might advocate that it's worth canceling, or if that's too strong of an action, perhaps you have them interact with your customer care department. If you're in the middle of the road, some kind of verification, this is a perfect time to utilize an automated verification step. From a payments context, if you're internationally based, perhaps it's pushing the transaction through 3D Secure. Or you might send an SMS or a push notification within the app. I think we're all used to getting those, right? Like that, yes, no, was this you? Confirm there. And here's the most important part. If everything is looking trustworthy from an event perspective and on Sift's assessment, get out of your customer's way. Let them purchase, let them post, let them rate, etc. Don't give them the option of going to a competitive app or website. Actually encourage that behavior. Let your loyal customers be loyal, right? So with dynamic friction, how we want to help. 1, apply friction when it's required. Secondly, don't apply it when it's not required and do it on the right populations. Introduce the idea of a win-win-lose scenario. Win for you because you're leveraging your own data, getting correct assessments of it, and tailoring new experiences around it. A win for the customer as the recipient of that experience, and a loss for the fraudster, right? Because you're either exiting them outright from your platform, or they kind of have that Darth Vader-y, like, no, like they're getting so much friction, right? We want the fraudster. Of course, we want to use these results to further learn and automate to help you scale. So why Sift? Why dynamic friction? I'm sure you're thinking, wow, San Francisco-based machine learning startup. I have 100 emails in my inbox from you. Please stop sending them, right? Apologies for that. But here's what I actually think you can get in working with Sift and why it's beneficial for everyone in the audience today. 1, since our inception in 2011, our machine learning, our infrastructure, our staffing is all in the pursuit of generating our Sift score, which, again, you can tailor experiences around and utilize information in real time. Secondly, we did our own research. This is from our Fraud Aftershock Index. What you're looking on the left hand of the slide is a visualization of a fact we already know. Fraudsters don't just attack one business. They don't attack just one vertical. And we can see the consequences to travel on the right-hand side. What you need to know is this is representative of the over 34,000 websites and apps that Sift secures, and the 35 billion events we see in any given month. Once you integrate with Sift and you go live, you get the value of these insights upon sign up. So even though a traveler may be a first-time visitor to your business, we have a confidence through our customer information from Airbnb, Despegar, et cetera, that you can help make assessments and tailor experiences accordingly. Now, Jeff Katz was recently on the Talking Points podcast. He's former CEO, founding CEO of Orbitz, now with Journera, hot startup as dictated by Phocuswright. And he said, hey, if you actually see the whole journey, you can create new experiences around it, right? So he didn't say the word dynamic friction, but it does sound awfully similar, and obviously something Sift believes in too. Lastly, we work with Destinia, an online travel agency out of Spain. What we helped them with was actually reducing friction and improving customer experience. Again, tailoring those through dynamic friction. If I've left you with any questions, we have a booth outside in the hall, or you can visit sift.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Take a step off the stage. Focus group, thumbs up, thumbs down. Looks like Terry might have been the only thumbs down. Terry?
Well, the only reason I'm thumbs down, I think it's a great idea. You painted a picture of security and didn't say, this is what I've saved, this is how many people I've stopped, this is what I'm doing. And I'm on the board of 2 internet security companies. You should be able to measure it. So I love the idea, but if you're going to sell me, tell me what you've actually done. You had 35,000 sites. How much fraud have you found? And how much have you stopped? Didn't see it.
Just a quick observation from me. Jeff should talk to the Umar at a firm. I think there could be an interesting partnership model in that space.
Yeah, I think I really like the model. I'm sure there are other companies that do fraud prevention, protection. I really like your focus on the user experience and removing the friction. So that's a great selling point for me.
I sit on a lot of audit committees, and you see in summary some very scary stuff that happens to companies. So really in e-commerce and m-commerce, you can't do too much to reduce fraud. And at the end of the day, the only way you're going to be successful getting those numbers down is through artificial intelligence, because the fraudsters are just too quick and too many and too swift.
The only reason why I was shaky, I wasn't really understanding the concept, whether it was only fraud or was it much more than that. But I really think this could, the biggest thing is if you go to insurance companies and they invest in you because they can bring down their liability, and if people are using your system, then the travel companies can reduce their insurance. So there's a virtual cycle there. So there is something on that front. I was just a little confused in terms of whether it was just only fraud and security or there was something else about on the friction side. But that's what I thought.
My concern would be that a lot of your success will be dependent on your partners, because that dynamic friction requires you to customize the user experience based on the Sift score. And that supporting them building that experience is going to be very expensive, very time-consuming working with them.
I just had a comment that I'm hoping that the pricing model is such that even the smaller organizations can afford it, because it's very important to be able to expand that to the entire industry and even beyond our industry. And then also wondering about any thought to actually go more to the root cause of the issue, so maybe partnering with the CIA or people to investigate who's actually behind the fraudulent activity.
All right, Jeff, back to you. What do you think?
A lot in there, Pete. Yeah, pricing is volume-based, so there's no additional fee, so you only pay what you consume, so hopefully that's palatable for smaller companies. From a partnership perspective, yes, we try to deliver what we can with these experiences, so if we can partner with other companies or organizations that can help facilitate follow through there, happy to do that. And then totally appreciate the point on measurement. A lot of times it depends on the state of the current business and what KPIs they're trying to tack towards. A lot of times it's a reduction in chargeback rate, et cetera, but case studies there on the website.
Great. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Well done.